Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hour Corner podcast, episode 15. Today, I'm, of course, joined by my co-host, Joe,
Hello, everyone.
but I'm also joined with another guest.
Today, we are joined by someone who used to be known as Casper Lee's ginger friend, but after turning the quality of his videos up, now he's a pranking genius, Josh Pieters. We are also joined by his overly British partner in crime, a comedian, television host, Archie Manners.
That is the best introduction anyone's ever given us on a podcast.
Absolutely shocking. I mean, how?
Oh, that's great. That's great. Say that again, sorry.
How old are the pair of you?
I'm 13.
I'm 14, yeah.
And what on earth are you doing recording a podcast at this time of day? Shouldn't you be at school or doing something that normal kids, do?
Yeah.
You don't even break a smile.
Yeah.
He didn't like that. I thought it was a brilliant introduction. I thought it was one of the great.
Thanks very much, Archie.
I might take the recording from the podcast and use it if we ever do anything live.
Yeah.
Just play you recording Josh's.
I was expecting to be really buttered up today, and you've just absolutely knocked my confidence to the
floor. Sorry. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
You.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, you both are YouTubers now. Archie used to do what seems to be everything, but now you're both YouTubers. So how did Josh with you started YouTube? How did you start YouTube?
So as you said, I was Casper Lee's ginger friend. And I came over to the UK initially to play cricket and ended up getting into YouTube because Casper was my best friend from home. I came over to visit him while I played cricket and ended up making videos with him and his friends. And then if you fast forward 4 years on from there, I met Archie and we started making videos together. And not long after that, we joined my channel with Archie and it became Josh Pieters and Archie Manners.
Which isn't the world's sexiest name for a YouTube channel, is it really? It's not like Mr. Beast or Yes.
Quite hefty.
It's quite a lot of letters.
A bit long. So you met Casper in South Africa in school, right?
Yeah, so Casper and I were childhood friends. We met probably when we were about your guys' age. So look, things are promising. Who's the plus one though, and who's the original star out of the two of you?
Joe's the original star.
On the original.
I see. When you read that initial introduction for me, Sam, that was your own insecurities projecting them from, was it?
Yeah, I just felt myself getting less and less, like sinking.
So yeah, we grew up together in a town in South Africa called Knysna. Casper moved over to England to pursue his YouTube career, and I then met up with him while I was in England playing cricket, and the rest is history.
Didn't you bully him in the? That's really blunt. I was watching the Casper video and I remember the moment. Sorry, you go.
I was gonna say, no, you've done your research. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
I should have known when I saw the M&M poster on your wall that you weren't going to be any customer. Casper and I were mortal enemies when we first met at school. Yeah, we hated each other for the first year of school. I'm quite good at sport, and he beat me in a game of tennis. And I really didn't like that. So for the first year that we were at school together, we didn't like each other at all. But after that, we became best friends and have been ever since.
Is that because Casper's shit at sport and you now beat him at everything?
Yeah, that became my lifelong goal.
Now you... I was about to say now you beat him at YouTube. That's not really
when you originally met... No, when you came over to the UK and started making videos, I remember in the politest way, your videos were general 2012 content. It was like
2012 even.
But in the politest way. And then obviously you've switched your content around and your quality is shone through a ton more. When would you say you realized that everything had changed?
I'll let Archie answer that question.
no good answer to that question.
No, he set me up horribly.
I think basically YouTube is one of those places where certain things work for certain times. You had a great career working when you were part of the group of the Buttercreams with Joe and Ollie and Jack and the other shouty one, Mikey, and that worked really well. But then that group kind of died out, and then we kind of found each other and realized that together we had certain strengths that would balance out each other and come up with a new thing.
When Archie and I first started making videos together, he was desperate to try and do some completely original stuff, but I was still of the thinking of like, no, to succeed on YouTube, you need to be collaborating with other YouTubers. And Archie really wanted to try not doing that, trying to do something that was original. And we started trying to do it, and it didn't work straight away, but after a little while it did start working, luckily, and it's brought us to where we are now, which is really cool.
In your videos, you have a lot of big celebrities or well-known people like Katie Hopkins, and you've had was it David Walliams as well?
Yeah,
he's been.
How do you get in contact with such big people for these videos?
Archie went to posh school, so he knows a lot of people.
No, that's not it. We set up websites mainly as our tactic, depending on what kind of video we're doing. So for the David Walliams one, we were pretending to be the producers of the Borat film and sent him an email pretending to be casting agents to see if he'd like to be in the next film. For the Katie Hopkins one, we set up a completely fake campaign group, a political group called the Cape Town Collective for the Freedom of Speech, and we set up a website. Yeah. So we were always kind of pretending to be someone or something that we're not. And then we track down their email addresses or their agents' email addresses, basically.
I guess what Archie's not saying as well is how much research goes into as well, making sure that we are pretending to be the right person or organization in order to trick the person we're approaching. So he does a lot of reading. He's got a very big head.
I do, a very massive forehead.
And he's got a lot of space for very information.
I spend a lot of time reading, and that's my biggest advice to anyone wanting to be creative is just read. Just try and absorb as much about the world as you possibly can. Because sometimes that random piece of information you read on the back of a shitty Christmas cracker 4 years ago can come in handy.
And to take it back to your question, when we are pretending to be people, we aren't just guessing and randomly pretending to be different people. We're specifically choosing companies or people that we want to impersonate to trick whoever we are going after, if it is that kind of video.
So what, probably a better way to put what I originally asked was, so on your Katie Hopkins video, the top comment was, Josh Pieters, biggest content blow up YouTuber's ever seen. Say again. Sorry, my Wi-Fi is awful.
You two have watched the Katie Hopkins video?
Yeah.
That surely YouTube's got to do something about that. I mean, how have they allowed that?
Yeah.
It's got a really fucking rude word in it, hasn't it?
No, I remember I watched it and my mum had the day after it came out. So I watched it the day it came out, big fanboy. And then the next day, my mum shouted up the stairs, "Has anyone seen this video?" And it was your video. But yeah,
it was weird that
the top comment is Josh Pieters. Sorry, you go.
No, you were saying that the top comment is Josh Pieters' kind of biggest glow up or whatever, but it was a weird video because, as you said, it was seen by people's mums first. It wasn't like a YouTubey video. It was kind of a video that lots of friends saw, and even my grandparents' friends were aware of it.
Yeah, I think it got more coverage off of YouTube, even though YouTube was obviously where we uploaded it in its initial home. I think across Twitter and all social platforms, it got so much coverage. So many random people saw it who you would never imagine would be watching a Josh Pieters or Archie Manners video.
Yeah.
But it was a fun video to do. It was it was quite mad. The minute it went up, we put the photo of Josh and Katie Hopkins standing in front of the rude word, and I remember that went. Yeah, that went like wildfire on Twitter.
I think when Storm retweeted it, we knew we were onto something.
Yeah.
Wait, Stormzy, did you say?
Yeah, unfortunately, he's deleted his Twitter, I think now, so you can't. There's no proof of that, but I promise you it happened.
Which is also great because Michael Jackson also retweeted it, as did a number of other people we can't prove. But some people genuinely retweeted. Jesus.
How do you consistently pull off all these like big videos?
I think it probably looks better than it is because a lot of videos we try don't work, but obviously we don't upload them. So we work really hard and spend a lot of time on our videos. And because of that, we don't get to upload as much as we'd like to, but we try and make sure that when we do, it's something that people are going to enjoy.
Yeah. Do you have any like videos that you have planned and fully recorded, but looked at and just gone, that isn't good, that hasn't gone off as we wanted, and just fully scrapped the video?
We've never done one where it's kind of worked and not been good enough. We've done lots where we've gone like half of the way through the process and realized that we can't achieve what we set out to do. So that happens quite a lot where you realize you've wasted, 100 quid or something, and then you're like, damn, we can't even upload it. But we've never made a full video and not uploaded it. There are some, like Zach Alsop from the Zach and Jay show always talks about his royal wedding video. No one knows what it is. No one knows if he managed to sneak into the royal wedding, whether it's just a succession of clips, whether it exists or not. I think that's genius because everyone keeps on talking about this mythical video that may or may not be real. So we might start spreading a similar rumor. But no, we've never done a whole one to completion and thought, let's not upload it. But part of that comes from good planning, making sure we're on the right side of the law from the beginning. And, you hope that there comes a point where it kind of works, before you invest too much time or money into it.
Yeah. Sorry. So you're wanting, is it your biggest video, the fake Ed Sheeran video?
Yeah, that's the one with the most views.
It's also the only one I'm not in.
So
I'm in it for 1 second, and then I'm on the phone in the second half of it. And I did help come up with the idea as well. Like, I was working with Josh at the time. I wasn't in Los Angeles. Biggest bloody video.
So did you expect it to be that big when you first came up with the idea?
If it worked, I think with that video, we always knew that it would do well because it was such a YouTube-centric video. It was a video around the biggest events in probably YouTube history. So therefore, if the video was pulled off successfully, I was quite confident, or we were quite confident that it would do well. And that was absolutely crazy because we recorded it, and then obviously I wanted to get it up as soon as possible to keep the hype, catch on to the hype of the KSI Logan Paul fight. So I spent the next 48 hours editing it after the fight, and then
with me over Zoom in London. Do you remember?
Yeah, Archie, and it was 3 in the
morning.
I
had to wake up at 4:30 in the damn morning to be on Zoom watching his jittery mouse sort of slowly move across the screen. It was so painful. And then we finally got it up, and it straight away. I've never seen a video do so well so quickly. It was so amazing. It was nice as well because it was a really positive video. It's a really happy video. I love it. Yeah. And I can say that because apart from helping Josh with the idea and the edit, I had nothing to do with it.
Who did you? So we watched the video earlier, and I thought, like you said, that it couldn't really go wrong. And I realized that when you managed to book all the plane tickets, etc., I genuinely didn't see how it could go wrong. But who did you trick there? Who were the biggest people you tricked at the fight, for anyone that doesn't know? So at the fight, there were a lot of YouTubers who got tricked. So Rice Scum took a photo with Ed Sheeran. He's a YouTuber. Then Roman Atwood, another YouTuber. There was Eddie Hearn for a moment got tricked. Summer Rae got tricked. Archie's never heard of it before, I don't think.
There was a guy called Will Ney.
He was
Will Ney got very tricked.
We did a behind the scenes video at the end of last year where you see that Will was one of the people who helped us film and was helping us up on it. If you check out the video, you'll see there's a sequence where a whole bunch of YouTubers and celebrities get tricked.
You use his voice, don't you?
Yes, yeah.
We had to subtitle it because it's quite a northern accent, Will. I couldn't understand it. It's oi, 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 oi.
The most interesting thing was seeing like people who are, you know, celebrities who would normally be the cool people in the room, all of a sudden like gravitating towards us because they thought we were with Ed Sheeran. It was.
Did you get people?
Yeah, I saw the.
Yeah. Oh, I got like more popular by virtue of being friends with Ed Sheeran.
Was it? I think it was Tana Mojo. It was Tana Mojo or Summer Rae.
Yeah.
I think it was Tana. She went, I know you're probably taking photos all night. And there was a few people that were like getting really heartfelt, saying that all his music's helped them through so much. And me and Sam were watching it and we started laughing because it's just not him. It's a bloke from Manchester.
Yeah, it was a bingo caller from Manchester who works part-time in Asda. But that his music has helped a lot of people.
It was a very interesting kind of, I don't know, observation on celebrity culture as well, how like we all lose our minds when we see celebrities, but you know, it's only because of, I don't know, what we've perceived them to be in our heads, as was proven when it wasn't even the real guy.
As my grandmother says, celebrities are just like normal people. They take a poo in the morning.
Exactly.
Which is true.
Very, very good point. Didn't Eddie Hearn realize it was you didn't he try to have a little conversation?
Yeah, so let me get this right. So Eddie Hearn was actually taken in by the whole thing completely. He was the one who gave the instruction for them to bring me, Casper, and Ed Sheeran to the front row seats. His partner then, Joe Markowski, who's from The Zone, had known someone who was having dinner with Ed Sheeran the previous week in Japan. So he was like, how is he here? Like, surely he's in Japan. It didn't quite add up. And he then came and spoke to us and had a conversation with Ty from Manchester.
Oh, no.
It became pretty apparent to him that it wasn't the real Ed Sheeran, but they were very sporting with the whole thing and said, guys, we love what you're doing, but the real Justin Bieber is about to show up and he is going to need to fix. If you could please go back to your seats, that would be great.
So what did the fake Ed, who's called Ty, what did Ty think of the whole thing? Because after you went to, I think it was KSI's like after party, and they were basing all the music on the fact that Ed Sheeran's here, and it was Ty.
Completely gone to his head, man. I haven't heard from him since that night.
No, he's massive.
He hasn't responded to a single text.
He's bought a yacht.
Yeah, he has bought a yacht.
Like the people that work for him. I saw him once in an Asda. Obviously he was being carried by four people, like a kind of
on a throne.
He had a throne on the back.
And do you remember you're not allowed to turn your back to him now?
No, you're not.
You have to bow, and it's hard. It's hard. Poor Ty.
No, he had a really fun night, and he was such a nice guy. And
he'd never been to America though, so he was very like. You see in the unseen footage video we've got for Christmas, him going around taking photos of the bins. He's like, "Oh my god, these bins are amazing!" And I'm like, "I've only been to America. They're the same bins we have in the UK. They're no different. They're just like full of rubbish."
Did after you succeeded with the whole like social prank, did people begin to like, did you tell people, or was it still just Ed Sheeran's here?
When in the video, you mean?
No, on the night. Did you reveal on the night?
So that night where you were at the party and he sat there next to KSI and KSI is going like right next to him, and everyone's walking around with the signs. Did you tell anyone? All right, he's from Manchester. His name's Ty.
We didn't tell anyone, but some of the British YouTubers started to figure out, that this was Ty Jones because he'd been in videos with Stephen before and a bunch of other people. But
Stephen who?
Stephen Tries?
Oh, yeah.
YouTuber, yeah. You know him. And but it was hysterical because we're in this really exclusive nightclub. A nightclub is basically somewhere people go when they're 18 and drink and have loads of fun.
Except they don't.
Right.
Except they don't.
21 in America.
Is it at 21 in America?
Yeah.
By the time COVID's gone, you'll be about 46 before you guys ever get to that.
Right.
All right. You'll be there on Zimmer frames, bopping
don't
along
think
Street
so.
Terry.
In a wheelchair.
This really exclusive nightclub, which is normally, nightclubs are usually very rude to you in general. They're not great on customer service. Because they thought we were with Ed Sheeran, I've never been treated more nicely than we were that night. So it was very interesting.
Yeah. So who do you look up to for, like, not like that, but like who
I look
inspires
up
your
to him
content
because
ideas?
he's about 7 foot. So I constantly looking up to him.
Because your content like ranges from so many different things, but when it all comes down, they're sort of like extreme pranks. It's not a basic prank. It's like very big sort of Nick Milana style. So who do you like with everything? What's your content inspired by?
Who inspires you, Archie?
Jesus, predominantly. He's a great prank artist, like the whole water into wine thing, walking on water. That'd be an unbelievable video, wouldn't it? If we walked on water, don't tell me that wouldn't get views.
David Blaine did it already.
David Blaine, yeah, he did. Other inspirations, Donald Duck. I just think he's got quite a cute face. He's got like a beaky pool. There's a few. Not many of them are on YouTube, actually. Very, very few of them. Other inspirations.
We both really like Sacha Baron Cohen a lot. I suppose he's a role model of ours. Who else would you say besides Jesus?
I would say one half of Zach and Jay.
We're going to leave you to figure out.
But you're not going to say who.
Zach.
Big inspiration. No, we love Zach and Jay. We like Nico. Nico's great. Love Nico.
Yeah, I like.
These aren't really inspirations. They're more just people I enjoy we enjoy watching.
Yeah, yes, there
Yeah.
Yes, really like Max Fosh. I really enjoy like watching him.
Yeah.
And the Boris Johnson Downing Street press conferences. Those are my favourite channels.
Yeah, nice.
They're the ones we've subscribed to.
Yeah.
A lot of it's old stuff. A lot of it, joking apart, like the sort of comedy we tend to like be compared to or are similar to old shows that were made long before even we were born. So shows that like maybe not even your parents would know, because your parents are probably only in their like 40s or 50s or 30s or whatever. But the comedy that was like around in the 60s and 70s is quite a good source of inspiration of what might be fun to reinvent and apply to today's world.
Yeah. How do you get the ideas? When do you sit down and think you're going to get Katie Hopkins and just completely ruin her almighty legacy? Like, where do you get all these content ideas?
As Archie said earlier, I think a lot of reading, it brings the ideas about us discussing things for hours and saying, oh, I do like that, I don't like that.
We do things like this morning. We went for an hour and a half walk in Battersea Park and didn't talk about anything. We didn't come up with an idea, but you're just chewing over what's in your brain. And quite often out of that, Josh will say, "Oh, I'd love to go for Katie Hopkins," and I was like, "Oh, I don't really want to go for her. She's not famous enough. I don't think that's going to work." And then he's like, "No, we're going for do that video." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll work with you and make it happen." And then he was right, and it did really well. So a lot of it's just we WhatsApp each other probably like 100 times a day.
Yeah, lots.
There's a lot of like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to do this? Wouldn't it be fun to do that? Like this morning we were talking about, would it be possible to zip wire across the Thames just because we were walking down the river? Like, would that be possible? Turns out no. It's a nice idea.
With something like the speech that when Katie Hopkins made her speech for her award, did you find it difficult to like not laugh at how horrendous it was?
Yeah.
So we'd rehearsed what we thought that moment would be like a lot with all of the actors we had with us, and it was imperative that we became method actors in that moment and tried our best to pretend we were people who would be in that audience normally for her to speak to. So it was really important that we didn't let up, we didn't laugh. It was incredibly hard. Some people had to go to the bathroom sometimes to like just have some time out of the room. But yeah,
we often have that. Like, even we did a video on some reality stars last year where we tricked them into watching what they thought was real TV shows, and it wasn't. It was made up. And I ended up having to go to the doctor afterwards.
Yeah.
I had a hole in my top lip from biting it so hard.
Oh, not only that, you went to the doctor as well because he was so trying not to laugh. He had strepsils with him because he had a sore throat, and he ate an entire box of strepsils within like an hour. So he got really sick.
I was sucking on them.
To chew
I was
on.
sucking on them to try not to laugh, because if you're sucking on something, it's quite hard to laugh.
Yeah, it was the moment where someone said that we need to solve global warming by leaving our fridge doors open to help cool down the planet. We found it really difficult not to
Really
laugh.
hard not to laugh.
Have you had like any point where you have actually laughed, or do you think you're quite
We do
quite
it all
good
the
in that
time. And
scenario
what
now?
happens is one of us will burst into laughter and the other one will make a really rubbish joke to like cover for the laughter. So Josh will be able to tell that I'm going laughing, and Josh will go like, "What's black and red all over?" and or whatever, and he'll be like, "A newspaper," or something. Just making something terrible. Yeah, what's black and white and red all over? It's a newspaper, right?
Yes, that's a good one.
And it's sort of a joke like that, and then I'll be like, to try whoever we're with to make it look like that's what I'm laughing at.
I just try to think of the saddest thoughts possible, like being made fun of by a 12-year-old on a podcast, anything like that. That helps me.
I'm 14. I'm 14. I'm 14.
14.
Decent. How long does it take to make the videos on average, with like planning and editing, assuming that you both edit the videos like you said about the fake Ed Sheeran?
I don't do any editing at all. I sit there like this and I go, "Oh, Josh, I think we should do that." And let's do this. I have no idea how to use a computer or an editor.
She's like someone who's been teleported like to our age from the sort of mid-70s, I would say.
Josh has to do all the pushing of the buttons.
So with the when the time took for editing and planning, a question that we ask quite a bit, although I hate the way that we've labeled it because it does make me cringe, the YouTube lifestyle. But yeah.
Mainly just highlight his hair and really bad hoodies. That's all you need to be a YouTuber.
What's it like? How much time do you spend on the videos?
Yeah, do you think you stay up super late and
well, we work really hard, often 23 hours a day. People, I don't know if you know, during the pandemic, people were clapping for YouTubers on Thursday nights. 6 o'clock, they were coming out.
Yeah.
We're the lifeblood of this country. No, obviously not.
It depends. It changes.
Doing such great jobs.
Some videos, like the Katie Hopkins one, took like 3 months from starting to plan it to finishing editing it. And then the Royal Experts video we made recently, that was all done in about
36 hours.
36 hours, yeah, because it was such a quick turnaround. So it's hard. It's always different. But I think
some of our biggest videos have been really last minute. I mean, Carole Baskin again was like we were.
Although that was such a good video
because we were working on that same idea, but for other targets.
But only for about a week.
Yeah. Fair.
You know, so like it's weird. It's weird. Sometimes you work really hard for a video and it doesn't perform that well.
Yeah.
And then other times you do a video where like it's you get the idea.
But for that week, we worked like 14 hours a day.
We worked like a normal job that week.
More than that.
Like a little bit. It's weird. Sometimes sometimes you do genuinely work quite hard. Other times you don't work that hard. But being serious, do we work that hard compared to a lot of people in this country? No.
And we're so lucky that we get to have the freedom of choosing, when we want to work
and when we don't. But of course, the downside is, unlike other jobs, we don't get paid at the end of the month if we don't do anything.
Yeah.
There's no guaranteed income. It's a lot of stuff that's not as good.
Yeah,
I think holiday pay.
It's also like, it's always what you don't have. Sometimes I would love to have that structure of, okay, I know I've got to work Monday to Friday, but then I know Saturday through Sunday, I can just have fun. Whereas you've got to install that discipline in yourself if you're a content creator, which is actually like, we're so lucky that we can do that. But weirdly enough, I sometimes wish I had someone telling me, okay, you've got to come to work Monday to Friday and then you can have your fun. Whereas now I just find myself partying all week long and I don't know how to stop myself.
Yeah. Sam, do you want to... Wait, so when did Archie come into the videos then? At what point was it? So you said...
Just when the views started going up. I don't know if you can look at it on...
Yeah, well on Archie. When did the... So you said when the whole group of you, Jack, Ollie, Joe, etc., when it started dying down, how did you two actually meet each other?
So me and Archie met through a mutual friend of ours, Mikey Pierce.
I thought you were going to say you met me in Leicester Square.
Oh yes,
Yep.
sorry, I actually forgot how I met Archie. Have you ever been to Leicester Square in London?
Yeah.
So you know how they have the people who perform in the square for money?
Yeah.
Archie's a magician. So I walked past and he was doing card tricks on the curb and people were putting money into a hat. And I put my phone number into the hat and said, I think we could make great stuff together. And then he called me and we started our YouTube channel together.
It's a great story, or at least it would be if it were true. It's unfortunately complete rubbish. We met through a guy called Mikey Pierce, who I did work for on his channel, which no longer exists because he's a very, very, very busy man in the entrepreneurial world, one of the top businessmen in the country now, interestingly. And then I started working for you.
Yeah, we so Archie and I just like as friends made a couple of videos together. I think one of the first videos we worked on together was I did like a song about Jack and Connor Maynard's little sister Anna, and it was like a parody song, and Archie helped me direct the video and he was brilliant.
It's actually, if you're Anna Maynard diss track, it's genuinely quite a good song. I run to it sometimes. It's genuinely like up there.
I can't remember. I can't remember which one I'm thinking of. Have you done more than one song, or am I?
Yeah,
but only one we should talk about here.
Yeah. I think I'm thinking about the same one.
Oh, good. So we then worked on I think like one or two more videos together before I thought, okay, this guy is really good. So I asked if Archie would mind working for me 2 days a week. And he then started working 7 days a week just because that's how hard he works. And it got to a point where he was like, look, I love working with you 7 days a week, but it's, I need to pay my bills. So we decided to form a partnership where we were both in it equally, and now here we are.
Yeah. So you obviously, your name originally for the YouTube channel was just Josh Pieters, and now it's Josh Pieters and Archie Manners. When did you change it and why?
So, well, I guess it's similar answer to the last question. We changed it in May. We came up with an agreement together that we were both happy with, where we would form a partnership. As I said, Archie wanted to give everything to the YouTube channel, and in order for us to make that work, he needed some incentive to do that. And part of that was us becoming a duo, I suppose, rather than it just being Josh Pieters and that funny posh guy who says funny things.
That would be a better name. If we remember that more. Josh Pieters,
that British guy.
Funny posh prick.
So we
would be better, wouldn't it?
To make it a formal partnership.
We could have called it Ginger and Posho.
Yeah. Ginger's
Oh,
no, God almighty, like the Spice Girls. That would have been great.
You guys, we're a girl group.
So good. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really
they're
want.
Like one actually never they're like
Baby Shark. You know them?
No, that's way before their time.
Baby Shark. Baby Shark.
Were you guys alive when One Direction?
Yeah.
They were live when One Direction.
Oh, right. No, I'm just checking out.
They're 14.
All right.
14 months. 14's a long time ago. Like, you were 10 when they were... No, you were 13 when they were born. 14 when they were born.
Yeah. That was their age, nearly.
Yeah.
So, Archie, mainly questions for you. Just two. So you're obviously a comedian, a magician, a television host, and now a YouTuber.
That's the first line of my Wikipedia page, which I did not write. I know where that's come from. I did not write that. But anyway, sorry. Ask away.
Why, or not why? How have you done so much?
Well, all of those things are something that you can just say you've done, right? And no one really questions it. I mean, I could chuck in the word astronaut in there, and I reckon you'd probably be like, "Oh my God, you're also an astronaut." So I've done a lot of different things because I started doing kind of entertainment when I was about 11. So I was a full-time, but I was in the holidays full-time magician from the age of about 12, performing at parties and weddings and stuff like that. So that was quite a lot. And then I did my first TV show when I was 21, and I hosted another series for MTV a couple of years back. So that's that bit. Then I don't really know where comedian comes in. I suppose what we do is, I hope funny.
Your skin changed that one time. Maybe they meant chameleon.
Chameleon. But no, I don't know where that comes from because I've never done stand up in my life. I do a lot of comedy based videos.
You're quite funny,
and I am obviously absolutely hysterical
to laugh at.
Hilarious.
I am just hilarious, which is annoying for some people, but amusing for others. So yeah, I've done a bit of all of those things. I've not really succeeded at any of them yet, but try.
That's so depressing. That's so depressing. What came to mind then? I linked when Josh said that you work incredibly hard, and it went from 2 to 7 days a week, and supposedly all these things, supposedly because you could be an astronaut for all I know. Do you think just growing up and from 11 onwards, you have just wanted to do as much as possible?
Yeah, I always wanted to be kind of center of attention, I guess, which used to really wind my family up and now winds Josh up. But you kind of do want to work hard at something. I think if you want to achieve at anything, particularly in this kind of industry, which is so competitive, the answer is ideally have a little bit of natural talent, but then work really, really hard. I mean, there are plenty of people in YouTube who are utterly talentless, but who have got to where they want to get to because they've worked really hard. And there are lots of other people who've got loads of talent, haven't worked very hard and haven't got anywhere. So the truth is work really hard and you will maximize your chances at succeeding. I think that probably applies to anyone in any kind of part of life. I mean, clearly if I worked playing golf every single day, I still wouldn't ever beat Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
But you kind of, you still have to put the work in.
What's your favorite video that you've done? Obviously, like together.
Good question. My favorite video that we've done is it's probably Carole Baskin, because it was at a moment where everyone was feeling a bit sad. We were like 3rd month of lockdown or something. At that moment when she comes on TV and she just goes, "Hello," like that. And it was innocent. She thought it was funny. She enjoyed it. And it did really well. Yeah. The first one after my name was on the channel, so I was a bit nervous as well that people would be like, "Oh, you've changed the name. I'm not watching that crap." What's your favorite
video? Probably the Ed Sheeran one, because you won't. No, I think actually I don't know if you've seen it. It was early on when we started working together. We hatched an egg that we bought from a supermarket.
Oh yeah.
That was just so fun. We bought a bunch of quail's eggs from Sainsbury's, put them in an incubator, and 20 something days later, one of them hatched.
Yeah, I love that one. That's cute.
It's really cute.
It? Yeah.
So, Archie, Josh, Archie, obviously your first humor. Thank you. I'm joking, Josh. So, Josh. Archie,
that was a great link.
Sorry.
Let's do that whole thing again, Joe.
So Archie and Josh,
yes.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Well done, guys. It was super fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. So for everyone, I hope you did enjoy the video. Make sure you go and check out Archie and Josh, because if you haven't seen them already, got to do some charity work. So thank you for watching the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow our Instagram and Twitter.